That should do it. Hello, everyone. Alright, let me make sure I am set up here properly. Got the chat all ready to go. Boom. Boom. Okay. So, hello, everyone. It is time for us to get back to Downtime. This has been something I made pretty early on in the channel's lifetime, and I did a bit, I got really into it, and then I got burnt out and didn't return to it for a long time. So, let's just refamiliarize ourselves with Downtime. It is a optional mechanic, it is not for every campaign. Characters using the system will be slightly stronger in combat than those without it. Having a home base does expand your resources, and I translated that directly into a few benefits that do follow over into combat. Very work in progress, obviously. We've got still a lot to go, but I was hoping to get into a little more of it tonight. Narrative scaling, this is not meant to be one-to-one with how the group operates. As your group progresses, things can go from representing, you know, a room within a building to entire buildings themselves. It very much depends on how you scale your campaign. This is more meant to represent, you know, it's an abstraction of what's actually going on. So not exact quantities, and followers are only your most prominent allies who, you know, are actually relevant to the story. You might have a lot of, you know, generic goons under your service, or it might just be your followers. That is up to the GM as well. Alright, management play. This is essentially the whole time you're doing the downtime. Boop. So, special phase between missions. Injuries and anxieties do carry over into the next mission, so that is important to understand. So, keep yourself safe so that you are not thrown into the next story beat with a bajillion injuries and anxieties. So, the downtime is split into quarters. I originally had this be weeks when I was doing it just myself, and I realized that's a weird scale for a lot of campaigns who just have entire weeks go by, so instead we have quarters. This could be a quarter of just the workday, or it could be, you know, weeks, or a day. Whatever. And then intervalos are basically larger points. This is like, you know, when rent comes due. So, recommended amount being 2, I'll say 2 to 3. Where's tilde? Oh, there it is. Don't use that often. 2 to 3, there we go. At the end of each intervalo, you pay your upkeep. So, you have to pay your rent, pay all your employees, pay the, you know, electricity bill, all of that. If you don't have the required funds, you must begin selling out facilities. If you still don't have any money, you have your headquarters repossessed and must start from scratch with any followers willing to follow you through bankruptcy. You also have your funds. This is not like a set on amount, again, very narrative focused, so, you know, 5 funds at level 1 is very different from 5 funds at level 15. Space and size. Space is the individual cost paid for each facility. Size is the total space cost of all facilities in your headquarters. And then followers! Yay! They're not meant to be following you into combat, but there are rules in the GM section to help with that if you really want to. Boom. Tasks. The tasks available are as determined as such. You have Claim Territory, which is always available. You can always look around for more stuff to use. Always try to figure out how to expand. And then, each intervallo, you roll a table based on the type of group your party is. Type of group your party represents. These are your common tasks for the intervallo. Roll a number of d8s, or higher for some custom tables, equal to 4 plus the number of players. Duplicates are fine, they just mean that you can undergo the same tasks multiple times in an intervallo. So, I wanted to make sure you have, a random assortment of tasks you can do, but that are still, you have a good understanding of what they're going to be. So you have both familiarity, but also you're not going to be doing the same best task over and over. In addition to these, the GM should provide some special tasks based on the events of the story, the exact details of which are up to them. Once a task is completed, it is removed from the pool and cannot be taken again until it shows up, excluding duplicates. Alright. Tasks are composed of the following. Boop. So, the assignment limit is a minimum and maximum of your participants. A time frame is how many quarters it takes. Participants cannot move onto other tasks until the time frame has elapsed and the task is complete. Merits and demerits are how well the task is going. They are only counted as merits, with demerits reducing the merit count, which can go negative. Rewards are what you get from completing the tasks, yada yada. The process of these tasks varies. Follow the instructions on the individual tasks sheet. Buying facilities. Your group can buy a facility at any time without taking a downtime action. Your group pays the space cost and funds cost of the facility, represented as XY in the facility's name, with X being space and Y being funds. You cannot have 2 copies of a facility unless told otherwise. Selling facilities. You can sell facilities like you would buying them, refunding the full space but only 1/3 of the funds. Only funds paid at its creation count. This might be weird to track, I don't know. But that's to keep you from obviously, getting a benefit for, if you... Bleh. It's to keep you from getting back more than you paid. Because that would be a weird thing. Upgrading facilities. Some facilities are upgrades to previous facilities. Boom. Okay. Followers. Followers have the standard 6 stat spread that players do, although they aren't limited to the standard array that players are. They may make and assist with attempts during tasks, and also take injuries and anxieties, which reset at the end of each downtime section. You may have up to 2 followers to start, with this limit increasing as you expand. The GM decides when you have an opportunity to recruit followers, whether pulling from NPCs met during missions or as rewards from tasks. Wounded. When a task gets real tough, a follower can suffer Wounded X, where X is a value determining how badly wounded they are. A wounded follower is immediately removed from their active tasks and returned to the headquarters. While wounded, the follower's injuries and anxieties cannot drop below the wounded amount. If the follower would suffer wounded while already wounded, they would die instead. So, this is to give you some control over, you're not just going to have a follower die immediately without any input. You have to choose to put them in danger, and they might be fine, or they might die horribly. And dying horribly is not always the worst option for you, as we'll get into. Wounded is reduced by 1 at the start of every quarter, not including the quarter in which they became wounded. A wounded follower can still participate in downtime actions and tasks, but should probably stick to safer tasks. Payments. They have upkeep. Woo. Abilities. Followers have their own abilities, negative and positive. Each ability is unique to the character, yada yada. The GM should feel free to take story abilities from the archetypes if need be. Boom. Grudges. Grudges are a way to track enemies your group has made during your tasks. When a task decides that you've obtained a grudge, mark its name in the headquarters sheet. You don't get to know the mechanics of the grudge. GM decides when a grudge activates, but only one grudge can activate in a quarter. The GM is encouraged to choose the worst possible time for a grudge to activate, as your enemies will be paying attention to your operations. Activation triggers after all downtime actions have been decided, unless specified. You may accumulate a limit of 4 grudges at once. If you gain more past this limit, the GM chooses a grudge to replace. Most grudges have conditions to remove, such as winning an attempt during its activation. You ultimately don't have much control over getting rid of grudges, so be prepared for consequences when making enemies. Woo! Alright, vehicles. You have vehicles, you can send them out on missions as well. Downtime actions, you take on a task, you do basic work to gain a small amount of funds, and you can take a break to remove 1 injury and anxiety, and you can bait foes. Potentially trigger a grudge of your choice. If the grudge focuses on a task, you choose which task is targeted, can only be performed by players. Alright, so that's that. Let's take a quick look at the sheet. Got your headquarters name, your faction, your location, your budget with your upkeep, your funds, your followers and your max followers, space available, and your total size. Right, grudges, you got your vehicles, and you got your facility, administration, with an upkeep depending on the number of players. Woo! In +1 max followers for every 10, size up to 50, then +1 for every 20 after that. So, you can get a good number of followers eventually. Boop. Facilities. We have a lot of them. Facilities, covered this. Facility types. Most facilities have 1 or more types, which dictate synergies you can focus on, or split evenly between. Hospitality. Facilities that make your headquarters more accommodating to your followers and any guests you host. They give good benefits to help take the edge off. Workspace. Facilities used to craft and research. You can get your hands dirty and unlock new options with these spaces. Archival. Facilities used to conduct business and sort through information. Make sure you're not caught unawares. Stuff like that. Surveillance is also considered like archival and stuff. Architecture. There's like big gardens and decorations and stuff. And sinister. Being evil. So you got all sorts of things. You got your med bay, your cafeteria, budgeting office. Got your workshop. All sorts of things. And I'm not gonna get too into the facilities right now, but if anyone does have any suggestions on things they would like to put in their base, and I'll see if they're not already covered by something, if I can make a new facility to help with that. Okay. And tasks sheet is sort of the blank sheet for making different tasks. Okay. Common tasks. Right now, problem. Only 2. We need a full 8. Woo! So, I'm hoping today to get at least 3 of these spaces filled. That is my main goal. But I'm going to take a quick look at the ones that I already have done, so we have a frame of reference. Claim territory. 1 to 3 people. Various different ways to find new territory to take. I will say this does definitely go more towards the range of like being more of a large scale thing. I do think flavoring it more as small scale might be nice, but I think it's a lot easier to write interesting scenarios for, you know, trying to purchase large bits of property rather than just figuring out what to do with a spare broom closet. Boom. You got complications like sellers trying to upcharge you. There's a legal dispute over the territory rights. Territory is infested with a nasty pest. So, all sorts of different things. Is it like playing a management game or like downtime options and Lancer? I'd say more like a management mini-game, between big sessions. So, I'm not familiar with Downtime and Lancer. I've only played a one-shot in that system, but escort mission. Woo. Take a vehicle, reduce the length by 1/4, so, you know, vehicles can be important. So, it looks like this one is finished too, nice. So, various complications that can happen from an escort mission. Client is moving too slow, each participant suffers an anxiety. The classic. So, special order. So, I might separate this into a separate sort of workshop fixer category, but this is basically you've been hired to provide custom-made workshop gear. The more people you have assigned to the task, the more you can produce. The more you can produce, the more you get paid. 3 funds for each participant, 2 additional funds for every 3 workspace facility. Ooh. Task has all participants remaining at the headquarters. If a participant has the workshop license story ability, gain 1 merit immediately. So, this one is a bit different from the others in that the first quarter and the second quarter have different things that can happen. Okay. So, there is also this special task with the Dieci. I did not finish writing it, so I'm gonna need to do that at some point. But I think that's a little too specific. I'd have to explain sort of everything I was thinking while writing it, and I don't really want to do that. Basically, some vague options you can take between missions that can either provide mech upgrades or information from later. Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, this definitely is more on the management minigame side of things, but it can absolutely be used to tie into the greater narrative. So, let's get started with more common tasks. So let's brainstorm just ideas real quick of what a fixer office might do. Obviously, I think security detail. That is a pretty good option. Let's see, what else? I mean, bounty hunting, probably. Okay. What else do you guys think a fixer might do? What kind of missions would you like to go on if you were a player? I'm wondering how much lag there is between you guys and me. Because I feel like it's a lot. Still don't understand what you're doing. I don't know how much you know of this channel, but this is a Project Moon tabletop RPG. And so we are writing the rules for downtime in between big events. So basically, running a fixer office or a syndicate and stuff like that. If you don't know what Project Moon is, you're probably just on the wrong channel. Boop. So, investigation, yep. So, I think these are a good 3 to start out with. Let's task sheet, duplicate, boop, and let's start with security detail. So let's say security detail, assignment limits. I'd say security detail can be anyone between just 1 person to stand guard and a whole fleet of like 4 people. Time frame. This is interesting. How long do we want this to be? Like, escort mission is taking 3 quarters. Special order 2. 1. I'd say 2 quarters. Brief. Yeah. Alright, cool. Security jobs tend to be incredibly fast most of the time. Workshop testing. Interesting. I'll keep that in mind for, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. That might need to be a more specific mission, because I'm not sure it would be used, like, all the time, but that is something I think that would be done occasionally. But always have to be ready for threats larger self. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. So, rewards. Let's figure out the sort of general idea of risk. Other, there... I don't know. Okay. So, how do we want to sort of figure out the sequence of events that would occur during a security detail? Because here, you know, we're just rolling from a table each quarter. For security detail, I think generally things should end up just kind of going fine, but every once in a while there should be something very dangerous. Something about finding and collecting this big thing. Yeah, some sort of retrieval mission could be good. Okay, security dude. So, maybe some sort of danger meter, or... Yeah, Everyone knows who Kim Ji-hoon is. How could we forget our favorite femboy VTuber CEO? Okay, so... yeah, I think there's a lot of lag between us. I don't know... what can I do to solve that? I can probably just close a bunch of my tabs. I think I have too many tabs open is the problem. Let me sort that out real quick so that we're not talking like I'm on Mars. Boom, boom, boom. Get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. Nuking all the tabs. Oh, I have Hero Forge open. That'll do it. Oh, and I have... oh, yeah. That would do it. Okay, I think we should have a lot less lag between us now, so we can actually talk at a reasonable pace. If you want to refresh your browser, that'll probably make sure we're synced up a bit better. But sorry about that. If anyone's been experiencing lag or anything like that, I should probably pay more attention to that when I'm preparing stream. Okay. So, security detail. I think... maybe... Because how do we want to represent, like, being such a threat that you kind of intimidate people into not trying to start shit? I don't know. We could just do this normally and just have a sequence of events that can pop up. But I would like to try and figure out something a little more interesting. We can. Some interesting sequence of events that will sort of help get the fantasy across of, you know, being a security guard. Sitting around for a while nothing happens, and then all of a sudden jumping into action the moment someone tries to start shit. Let's just grab this. Could provide more basic rewards, but with a somewhat random chance of something better if something occurs. Yeah, I mean, security work generally, I feel, isn't like that. You don't usually get rewards for if something happens, but I mean, that could be very different in the city. Okay. Oh. GM secretly rolls 1d4 to determine the danger level. On a 1 to 2 is minimal danger. On a 3 is some danger. On a 4, there is great. Boom. And then let's say there's a way to sort of, so a danger level is secretly picked out, and then I think there's going to be some sort of attempt to see if you can figure out what level the danger is. Yeah. Let's say... Let's say each participant makes a scaling instinct attempt. Scaling instinct 3 attempt. For each successful die. No, instinct 2. For each successful die, player A pass state a number in 4. And the GM says whether or not as the danger level forward. So have this be each quarter. So okay. So this will sort of... There will be essentially 3 different outcomes for each event, depending on the danger level. And so the players will have a choice of whether or not they choose to get involved, or whether they just take the demerits and don't fucking touch it. Okay. So, a group of people are causing a scene. Each quarter roll. I'm just gonna say 1d6 because I feel like if we're doing 3 variations of each event, should probably keep it to a minimum. Roll 1d6. A group of people are causing a scene, so like protesters or something like that. You may choose not to get involved. And skip the event, but suffer 1 demerit if you do so. Okay. Group of people are causing a scene. You may be able to calm down or try and interfere physically. One ally makes either a might 2 with an asterisk, or a persona 2 with an asterisk. So, for those of you who haven't super familiarized yourselves with the attempt notation, so might 2 with an asterisk makes means like it's a might attempt with 2 dice and allies are free to help. That's what the asterisk means. And normally I would like put these as like a might / persona attempt. However, there is a reason I am not, and that's because they might have different results. So I only do it combined if there are different results that could occur. Actually, I think meant to be capitalized? I don't know. Yeldabaoth will yell at me if I get it wrong. Thank you, Yeldabaoth, by the way, for going through all the downtime stuff. That was not needed of you, but it is very much appreciated. Boom, boom, boom. So, let's... Minimal danger. On a success in... No, do I? I kind of like the idea of there not being merits, just demerits in this. Because that's kind of how security work goes. No one cares if you do security well, they only care if you fuck up. This. Yeah. Crowd versus on a failure. A midnight solicitor. Less a confrontation, just someone who's not supposed to be there. Yeah, could be interesting. 40. Hang on, I want to reword this. Take only the highest, the most successful attempt. The others, each successful die. That. Player may state number. Alright. Okay, yeah. Just making sure it's a little more to my intent. Okay. On a failure, the attempt suffer 1 anxiety. Some danger. One in the crowd gets wild on a success. On a might success, subdue them. On a persona success, they hit you, dealing 1 hit. Attempter, causing them to suffer 1 injury. Just got many super important changes so far. I'm honestly pretty happy with the overall, like, downtime system. So right now we're really just making new little tasks to do. So right now we are doing security detail. We've got a little danger level system going on for this one. Alright, success. But the crowd handles the rest, causing ally hit to recover from 1 anxiety. Woo! On a failure, Tempter is punched for 1, not demerit, 1 injury, and the group suffers a... Woo! Okay. Great. The people in the crowd are far dangerous and dissipated. Let's see. After... I just realized I want you to be able to avoid it after the scenario. Okay. Full riot on failure? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, actually, let's change it. People in the crowd being dangerous is cool, but I do think just more of a large riot. The crowd is large and composed of people that may prove dangerous. After a full riot breaks out, you suffer 3 demerits. On a might success, you for 1 merit. Still suffer 1 demerit. On a persona success, you suffer 1 anxiety. But on the crowd, suffer no demerit. Woo! Okay. Nice. So, let's see. Someone... Actually, there's evidence of some sort of heist. That shouldn't be capitalized, unfortunately. As much as I would love to capitalize heist. Going on. Make... intellect slash I minimal danger. It's a bunch of cat burglars. on a success. Pop them without a fight. On a failure, let's say they fall away and you suffer one in there. So, attempting to take on Great Danger with might. One, you might not know it's Great Danger. Thing is, the Some Danger is meant to favor might, and the Great Danger is meant to favor Persona, but you don't know which it's good. You don't know which it's gonna be unless you rolled good on your check to sort of get a vibe on the threat. Oh, wait, you do not need to all be bold. Only you. Boom and boom. Okay, cool. So, some danger. The robbers want to fight back while fleeing. Let's see. What do I want to change, actually? The amps now becomes scaling on 1 0 successes. The harbors get away and suffer 1 merit, as well as injury. On 1 success, you catch them, but suffer injury process. On 2+ successes, you catch them without injury. Okay. And great. Robbers not going down without a fight. Failing 0 successes. The ally is seriously in. Ally suffers did 1 and got 1 demerit at 1 2 successes. suffer 1 injury in the process, and at 3. Okay. Boom. And, 3 is only possible with, being helped and such, but not at all unlikely that you'll have at least 1 extra die. Okay. Someone hears a noise. On their control. Randomly determine 1 participant who gets caught 7. And this one be a high risk, high reward. So. Ooh, a vandalism encounter? Yeah. That works. Not entirely sold on the solicitor one. I'm still considering that, but vandalism. Let's actually go ahead and vandalism. So, will be minimal danger. It's someone need of. No, that can be its own event. It's something good. Something interesting. GM describes a fun encounter, and the participating player or participant recovers from 1 anxiety. Woo! Okay. So, then some danger. Yeah. Let's. Somebody is up to no good. Somebody is trying to spy on the area. The participant makes a agility. 1 hunt on a failure. The a failure if this is the last. This is not the last quarter. The next quarter is immediately set for danger as the by influence by influences in this is the next just event. Is the last quarter the participant suffers or anxiety in and then great danger. There's dangerous syndicate member loose. The participant makes a might/agility attempt. On a failure, they suffer wounded 3 or 2 injuries and anxieties if the participant is a... Okay. Boom. Oof. So close to being able to fit one thing. There... I don't see any ways I can... And I could change this to like 1 to 2, 3, 4. That'll 2, 3, 4. 1 to 2, 3. And 4. Okay. Boop. Yeah. Vandal. Someone vandal the area to work and to guard. Okay, so this is probably another Might persona. Glad to see you can make it for the stream. Ah. First time chatter, not first time viewer. I've been there. Make... Okay. Interesting. If you get this event, you may only suffer a choose an ally to clean up the mess, causing them to gain 1 anxiety, but not suffering a demerit, or you can continue the event. Perhaps actually, oh. 1 to 2. Make a what attempt? I mean, fleeing kid. It's a fleeing kid. Make a ability 3 attempt on a failure. Suffer 2 anxieties for failing to catch a literal child. On a success, you intimidate the kid. Catch a kid and convince them to for it a keeping watch. Next quarter, everyone gains an additional die on their attempt. Discern the danger. Ooh, child labor. Okay. 3. It's low grade syndicate member. Make a danger levels could come in the complexity of what's been vandalized. Maybe. No, it's not endurance. Vitality. That. I always forget what I've named the stats. Like I made the system, but like, there's so much. It's the same, you know, stats you see in most TTRPGs, so I get it confused with other systems for some reason. I might vitality to on a failure, suffer 2 injuries, on a success, beat them, and deal with. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. 4. Picked off notable syndicate member who was blowing off steam. Boom, boom, boom. Make a... yeah, probably just this again. I don't want to make it too dangerous because otherwise you're just always going to be taking the anxiety option since this is easier to ignore. So I want the consequences to be a little lower. But it should still be a little thing. Boom. On a failure, suffer 2 injuries and 2 anxieties. A success. You deal with them and raid their pockets for 2 funds. There we go. So you've got a reason to actually take this on. So you might be able to get a little more money from raiding the bad guy. Okay, I think, so I want to do 6, but I think leaving it at 4 for now so I don't get too burnt out is a good idea, and I can return the rest. Progress. Work in progress. Okay. So next is, so we got bounty hunting, investigation work, and retrieval. Okay. Let's go with bounty hunting now. But first I think I want to take a quick break. I do not have my BRB sign on the main dock. That is only in the stream dock. Let me pull that up real quick. Well, I will not be gone long. I just need to run off to grab a drink and use the restroom. You all can do the same. There we go. Da-da-da. I have returned. So, let's get to boom. Common tasks. Bounty hunting. Bounty hunt. Oh wait, no. I need to directly copy task sheet that. Keeps all. Bounty Boom. 22. Ah. Assignment limits. How many people? I think. Taking it from being. Security detail. We have a 1 to 4. Have a 2 to 4. We have a 1 to 4. I think buddy system, you wouldn't want to go against a motherfucker with only one person, so let's say 2 to 4. Time frame? Max of 4. So I think you might be able to do this very quickly, or might take longer. Okay. Wait. I'm gonna come back to this. I thought of some other changes I want to make to it, but I think I'll just do that on my own, rather than having to explain everything I'm doing on stream. Okay. Wards, again, I think I'll figure that out after I assess the overall danger of the event. Hunt a guy down. Just a placeholder brief. So yeah. So, let's actually copy from security detail, hover. Each order, one ally makes a instinct, intellect, 2 asterisk, tempt. Actually, I want to explain what the meter is. So, you have a tracking meter that goes up to 3 when it's 3, move on to scenario. Oh. Immediately, if you run out of time on the time frame, you fail the mission. Not mission. Fail the task. On a bus. Marker goes up by 1. Boom. Each quarter. Build meter. Roll 6 to determine okay. So someone no, I should just copy this from there is a number. For that. Someone in the area knows something. One ally makes a persona. Ooh. Attempt on a success increase. Actually, make that listable. Yes, increase the marker by 1. Failure. Ally gains 1. Boom. Then you're tracking the target through dangerous areas. Choose to either reduce the marker by 1 or all participants suffer 1. Warp requested hit. Maybe just a general requested hit, but yeah. Requested hit. I mean, it absolutely can be a fixer thing. I suppose there's nothing stopping me from doing that. Does feel more syndicate-y, but honestly, the difference between the two are minimal. Syndicates are just fixers with less regulations. Ba-da-ba-da-boo-boo-ba. Okay, now what other complication could there be? Or benefit? This... You've got a risky maneuver. Oh, he's... Is it all fancy like that? I guess so, yeah, it's not giving me a pop-up, so I suppose it is. You can take either ignore it and continue on. Oh, wait. Oh, it is giving me a pop-up, okay. Either ignore it or move on. Or take or takes 1 attempt on a success. Will increase the tracker by 1 on a fail. Increase it by 1. Reward that to try. Okay. That's nice. Yeah, someone who's aware of the hit and hiding their tracks. Yes. The target is going to their box. Oh, let's make the two attempt if all two attempt. Oh. Fail. Decrease the tracker. Okay. Get hired some bugs to viewers. Lies aka might slash agility. Two attempts to either escape or fight off on a failure. Suffers 1 injury. They won. And last one. Let's see. What would this be? What sort of tropes are common in like this sort of hunting someone down? Got like the asking around town option, we got the difficult terrain, got the risky maneuver, covering your tracks, look for them. The target gaining ground too fast, you have to either speed up or keep moving for time. Use either agility 3 or 3 or 2 form the fire one and 1 participant fails. You use the tracker by 1 if all speed, increase the tracker by 1. Boom. Okay. So that is everything in that regard, but boom, Boom. Alright. We've been gun for an hour and a half already? Jeez. Not feel like it. Time flies. Once the tracker is full. Tracker's full. Roll 1d4 to determine the final location. They aren't going down without a fight. Each participant takes a might attempt as long as at least one succeeds. The mission. If all participants fail, suffer one injury. One succeeds, you complete the mission. If all fail, fail the mission, and one suffers one or an additional injury in the case of a boom. The target willing to negotiate surrender. I don't want to say this out loud just because YouTube might demonetize me, but this is within Project Moo content warnings, so I can just type it out. Target. Hello, good to see you. That's yeah, we are currently doing base building. We are doing a bounty hunting task, so yeah. Sort of base building, like if you want to run a fixer office or a syndicate, that sort of thing. Having the target attempt an ambush, yes, that would be a good idea. Boom, boom, boom. Thus you negotiate their surrender. On failure, commit. And you have the total funds. Okay. We are. So, the target is now hunting you in retaliation. All allies make. How are we implementing cafes with that? Actually, there is in the facility list. There's one, the cafeteria, which is more, you know, your group cafeteria, but there's also side business where you can actually like set up a separate little business to help gain additional funds regularly. So you can actually run a cafe in Stars of the City. Anyway, all allies make an instinct to boom attempt fail. To attempt to avoid off guard. Each leads. Actually, I'm gonna make this Instinct 3. I think this is gonna be a series of 2 attempts that you have to succeed both of. Okay, then make might slash vitality attempt to fight. Might vitality 3. Back. Leads this second attempt. Each participant suffer. Oh, what am I doing? Wounded 1. Or an injury in the case of boom. Okay, and last one. Boom. Alright. Ooh. What? Oh, the final one. We have fight back, but with ambush. You know what that is. Yeah, something more on the peaceful-ish side. I would think of having it be like a bribe, but that doesn't really... What things are used? Persona, instinct, might, agility, vitality, persona, instinct, might, vitality. So everything's used a bit except for intellect. So some sort of intellect thing. What would be an intellect thing for a bounty hunter? Check to make them realize their misdeeds. That's not really a super important thing in the city specifically. A lot of the time they might not even have done anything wrong. It's just that someone wants them taken care of. Going off hook office style allegiance players. Yeah, I don't quite get what you're talking about there. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by hook office stuff. Obviously, that brings to mind, like, Massacre. Oh, go for the highest bidder? Okay, that's not exactly what happened with hook office, but, yeah, this is not something where, like, I think allies could really turn on you. I think that would be more for very specific things, but if this is an event that can occur for just anyone, I don't want it to be. Explain that the chances are better off coming with you the first time around than being chased down and possibly being taken care of. That kind of falls too close to this, but maybe we could reframe it as more of an intellect thing. Set a trap. Good, thank you. I need to set a trap. One ally makes a intellect. One star or 2 star? One or 2. I think 1, since it's free to help. And on a success, manage to capture the target. On a failure, let's reframe that. Ally makes a... Because we know there will be at least 2 participants in the assignment. So one ally makes a scaling intellect. 1 star attempt. Another makes a scaling ability. Let's actually have it be 2 if we're requiring 2 of these. 2 attempts as long as 3 total dice. Oh no, not 3 total dice. Speed. You mission, otherwise put tracker back to 2. think luring the target into a location, that could be fun. But, I don't know if I want to do, like, roll a d5 to determine. I think I'm gonna keep it like this for now, with just the 4, but I will keep that in mind if I want to expand it further. This actually. Boom. Okay. Alright. I don't know if I want wounded to be... Oh wait. Oh well. Okay, I was hoping to get more done today, but it's already been like over an hour and a half. I did not expect it to, player choice rather than event table. I do think I want some player choice things, but I think the whole point of these common missions is to be repeatable and not get boring too fast. So if there's just a clear best option, then that might not be the greatest. But okay, yeah, I want to get more done, but I think I might try and take some of these on myself without having to worry about talking folks. But yeah, also, yeah, it does just take a while since you've got a lot of things to consider. But let's put the old Organ Margoses. I mean, these are technically work in progress, but they're not like... No, let's just say... Not for it. Not for it. For these, work in progress. And maybe I'll chip away at them in between other stuff. That way I'm not just sitting here racking my brain for ages. Yeah, I think with unique tasks like this one, player choice is a good idea. But I think for common tasks, they need to be sufficiently random. Yeah. Even if they do reward a different build, you're still just gonna be taking the one that's best for your build. Let's at least set like a reward. So an escort mission is around the same number of people, around the same expected length, but has significantly fewer. So I think bounty hunting, honestly, 15 funds. Changes. Just because this is a more dangerous one. And I think it should be a little more rewarding, since you can end up just not fulfilling it at all. Pretty easily, frankly. Catching a cat. Yeah. That's like a level 1 bounty hunting mission. Imagine getting killed by a cat. Okay. Yeah, I think this will be it for now. I have some other stuff I want to get to tonight. But it's been fun. It is nice to be able to look over these older rules, and I do... they will not be done for 1.0, but I do want to at least have them be a little more usable. For stuff like... I at least want to complete the Fixer Office tasks first, because those are the ones most people... how goes the Poised Charge work? Still conceptualizing stuff. I haven't committed to anything, but I do want to get back to it. Unfortunately, I have been wrapped up in a completely separate project that has taken up way too much of my time. I've just been too obsessed with it recently, and it will be a while before you actually see the results of it. But I do hope to get back into the stuff I should be getting into. But unfortunately, my fixations take me where they will. So, I will see you later. I think that's about all I wanted to talk about. So, bye-bye, good night. I will see you later.